Well, hello. I basically trying to make Minecraft too. And honestly, I think I'm kind of making Minecraft, but so when I tried to open a Godot project and kind of messed with the environment a little bit. Now, before we get into why you clicked on this video and the thumbnail, you need to know that I started this project by complete accident and I didn't really know what to do with it. I kind of tried to make it like basically like a game called Lucid Blocks. It's basically if Minecraft was on meth, and yeah, it's really interesting, and I was trying to go for that same vibe. I think it's working pretty well. Now, there are some couple of differences that my game has. My game has a kind of different lore to it, and yes, my game does have lore. And as well as for the game's title as well, it's called Brain World, and it's not an actual brain. It's very interesting. Now, to explain what the entire concept behind my game is, it's basically a kind of place where it's kind of like a hyper dimension. It's like a four-dimensional space, right? Universes are usually in 3 dimensions, but to not get too much into it, it's basically if Minecraft had infinite dimensions. You know, like the April Fool's update with the infinite dimensions? Yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to do. And instead of it being, chaotic, I'm trying to basically make a game where you can explore and, craft and mine. Like, basically just like Minecraft, but with its own interesting twists. Mainly, it's going to have multiple dimensions. They're gonna be like the main dimensions for the story mode, I guess. Like, for example, the woodlands, which, knowing what a brain is, it's basically a brain is basically like a universe, but it has different rules to it, different physics, and there's like infinitely many of these brains. So now that we know what a brain is, how does this correlate to my game? Well, it's basically infinite worlds that are on top of each other. To go across these different dimensions, you basically have to kind of go down a level. It's like you have these levels, and the more you go down, the more sort of like unstable everything becomes. Now, I did try to learn about Perlin noise from the last video, and I kind of know a lot about it. It's basically what I'm using right now is basically 2D Perlin noise, which is a map, a sort of map where black is, I think it's -1 or just 1, and white is like the opposite of that, it's 1, and there's like a gradient. It's kind of random, but it also kind of like not chaotic random. It's the same thing Minecraft uses to generate rain and caves and all of that, though I'm pretty sure caves are generated from 3D Perlin noise. But nevertheless, I did try to make basic terrain generation, and it gave me pretty interesting results. Now, the frequency kind of changes how the Perlin noise acts or how it looks like. With a higher frequency basically being a sort of like very jagged terrain to a very low value that's like pretty flat. So you can like use that to make mountains and flat plains, which is pretty cool. Now, it gave me very interesting results with it looking basically like the Farlands. I don't know what I can't speak. Okay, why does this happen? Well, if you go in one direction in the Perlin noise, it basically becomes, well, like this. where it basically keeps repeating itself. It looks really interesting, but it's also the same thing that happens in the Minecraft Farlands, which is pretty intriguing. That probably means my code, or just how I'm going with it, is pretty similar to how Minecraft does it, which is exciting. Now, apart from that, I also tried to make structures like trees, for example, spawn. Now, trees basically spawn using the same Perl noise for like the tree density, which kind of changes. You know, a higher frequency basically means, I think it basically means more, I mean, it does mean more trees, but it's more scattered, I think. And it gave me this very interesting result as well. It's kind of like the pack rooms in here. The trees are also made out of like wood and stuff, but I kind of like the look of it. Not going to lie, it looks really interesting. So yeah, that's what I did. Kind of use the same way Minecraft does it. Probably have to like make it optimized and, you know, have like chunk rendering and chunk deloading. Also, the environment that makes like the fog and, you know, the lighting, there's basically a sun, but you can't really see it. But I mean, it's there, so it's just the fog is very thick, which I kind of like the look of it. I can change the color of the fog, which is basically how I'm going to like make these unique brains for different parts of the game. Now, I also forgot to mention that I also made a character 3D movement system, so you can like go around and look and stuff. I also added like head bobbing and you know, sprinting. Maybe it's a little too goofy, but you know, I can change it later. And alright, the final parts of this video. So I also added shading, which was pretty interesting. It's actually, I did it in like C++. Well, not really C++, it's still like the Godot script, like GD script, but you also needed to add these little colons in the end, which kind of reminded me of the times I used to code in C++. Anyways, after, you know, looking up a video, because I can't, like, this is very new to me. I don't even know anything about shading. Yeah, I think I did a pretty good job following a tutorial on how to make retro graphics, and oh my god, does it look beautiful. I was really surprised. I thought it was going to flashbang me and, you know, it's going to be a white screen and I'm going to scream all over the place, and it turned out to be the exact opposite actually. It's really cool. I really like how it fades the colors in the distance, or how the, you know, light, or the omni light looks like. It's like kind of moving, but it makes the entire scene alive, which is really good. I really like it. Other than that, that's basically what I did for today. That was a pretty full day actually. Now, what I'm gonna do in the next video is I'm gonna try to figure out how I can make chunk loading and to truly make it infinite. So, and also optimizing the chunk loading system, I guess. Now, because the reason why it takes so long is because I have the code for the chunk generation in the ready function, inside of the ready function. The ready function basically is the first function to be called when a scene starts, when you start the game. So it basically has to put all of these blocks in the grid map one by one. So yeah, that's probably why it takes so long. Probably going to shrink this. This is like a giant chunk. This is like 400 by 400. And it's obviously going to cause some stuttering and future problems when I'm trying to, you know, generate the environment around the player. So I'm going to definitely shrink the size of the chunk, but it still looks pretty cool. Yeah, that's basically all that I did. It's actually coming really well together, and the shading really makes really is like the cherry on top. I can definitely make some very creepy looking entities that appear in the dark cycle, you know, at nighttime. And also, since this is like basically brains one over another, if you go down and you know the above is like daytime, if you go down it's going to be nighttime. So I'm gonna put a demonstration on the screen to show you how it would work, but if it does work, that means it's going to be really good. I'm not sure how I'm gonna implement that exactly, but we will see in the future videos, hopefully, in the future devlogs. So yeah, that's basically all I did. If you wanna, I guess, support me, consider subscribing and, you know, sharing your thoughts in the comments. I do read all of the comments. Not that I have that many anyways, but yeah, I'm very excited to continue on this project. And yeah, see you on the next video. Thank you for watching.